When we talk about making hijrah, the first question is usually about visas or jobs. But the most important question for a practicing Muslim family actually is, how conservative is the society that we're moving to? We want to live and raise our families in an environment where Islamic values are not just tolerated, but they're the absolute standard in the society. But in reality, measuring conservatism isn't really that easy. There isn't an official international body that ranks Muslim countries based on their level of conservatism. Instead, we have to look at a combination of legal structures, public morality laws, and social attitudes. In this video, we're going to rank major Muslim countries from least conservative to most conservative using these factors. But what is also important is also ranking these countries' relocation suitability. Because as you'll see, the most conservative country is not necessarily the country where you want to live. But before we jump into the rankings, many sisters have reached out to us recently asking, are there any remote work options available that are not just advertised for brothers? Well, here's an opportunity that's for both brothers and sisters. Today, we are introducing a vetted and trusted partner, Pivot to Tech. Pivot to Tech helps Muslim men and women build careers as freelance copywriters. It is an online career path to making about $2,000 to $5,000 per month, simply by writing marketing emails for other businesses. If you're already working, you don't need to quit your job. You don't need to get on camera and show your face on social media. This is not another passive online course where you are left to figure it out alone. You get structured training, master an in-demand skill, and Pivot to Tech actively supports you in landing paying clients through its growing network. The goal, to help you secure your first $1,000 to $5,000 deal using real skills that businesses actually pay for. If you're looking to build a flexible, remote income skill that can help you actually sustain or make your hijrah, this could be your path forward. And again, this opportunity is for both brothers and sisters. To see if this is for you, go to copywriting.makehijrah.com. Now let's start the countdown at number 10. Coming in at number 10 is Malaysia. The relocation suitability of Malaysia is very high. Malaysia combines political stability, functional infrastructure, and a visible Islamic identity. Islam is the official religion of the Federation, and the Shariah courts operate for Muslims in matters of family law. The country primarily follows the Shafi'i madhab of fiqh. However, the reason it ranks lower on the conservatism scale is because of its plural religious landscape. This developed during British colonial rule. Malaysia has large and visible Buddhist and Hindu communities. You will see Buddhist and Hindu temples in the city centers. But make no mistake, Islamic identity remains constitutionally protected, and the propagation of non-Islamic religions to Muslims is legally restricted. For Western Muslims, the adjustment isn't theological conflict. It is simply cultural diversity. Because of its strong healthcare, infrastructure, and clear residency pathways like the Malaysia My Second Home program, its relocation suitability ranks very high. Coming in at number 9 is Qatar. Qatar has a relocation suitability of high but conditional. Qatar is one of the safest countries in the world with world-class infrastructure. Islam is the state religion, public modesty norms are present, and alcohol and drugs, of course, are heavily regulated. It is a majority Sunni country following the Hanbali madhab, and it has minimal sectarian tension. Okay, so why is the relocation suitability conditional? Well, that's because of the structural disparity between Qatari citizens and expatriates. The vast majority of residents are expatriate workers, while the small citizen minority receives substantial state benefits funded by energy revenues. Integration into core Qatari society is very limited. Social life remains within established kinship circles. Residency is strictly tied to employment sponsorship, and citizenship is extremely rare. It's an excellent conservative environment for professionals, but difficult for generational settlement. Number 8, Kuwait. Kuwait's relocation suitability is moderate. Kuwait is a conservative Gulf state where Shariah is a primary source of legislation. Public modesty norms are strong, and alcohol is completely prohibited. It has a Sunni majority and a significant Shia minority, but sectarian coexistence is normalized within the political framework. A major factor here is the Kuwaiti dinar, widely regarded as the strongest currency in the world. This gives massive purchasing power to local earners, but makes the cost of living, especially housing, very high for those bringing in foreign income. Its suitability ranks as moderate simply because independent permanent residency is very limited. You're basically tied to employment sponsorship. Number 7 on this list is Oman. Oman's relocation suitability is high. Oman is politically stable, socially conservative, and administratively predictable. Its dominant school is Ibadiyya, which is distinct from both Sunni and Shia tradition. For Sunni families, you might wonder if this will cause some friction. It doesn't. Oman is not an Ibadi theocracy. It is a monarchy. Sunnis are free to practice openly, and there are some areas in Oman that are exclusively Sunni. Sectarian tension between Sunni and Ibadi in daily life is minimal. The country promotes religious coexistence and tries its best to avoid sectarian rhetoric, at a low violent crime rate, investor residency paths, and a calm, non-intrusive social conservatism. And Oman is one of the most balanced environments in the world. Coming in at number 6, Pakistan. Relocation suitability, moderate to low. Pakistan did not just emerge as a Muslim majority country. It was explicitly created in 1947. It was created as a political homeland for Muslims of the Indian subcontinent. Today, its constitution declares Islam as the state religion, and the public social environment is deeply Islamic. It is a Sunni Hanafi majority country with strong public religiosity. However, its relocation suitability drops because infrastructure and security vary significantly by region. Major cities like Lahore and Islamabad have modern facilities, but rural areas suffer from inconsistent electricity and weaker healthcare. The bureaucracy can also be highly complex. It aligns strongly with a conservative Sunni worldview, but institutional predictability still remains an issue. Before we move into the top 5 most conservative Muslim countries, you need to understand that moving to any of these destinations requires some serious foresight. You are moving yourself and possibly your family across the world. You're dealing with new legal systems, new housing markets, and new cultural realities. When doing anything significant, it's very important to plan ahead. Hijrah is a life-changing decision, and to get the most out of it requires a plan. This is exactly why we built the Hijrah plan from A to Z. We use guided modules to help you draft your own custom Hijrah plan, and then we offer the help you need to execute it. Go to hijrahplan.com and start building your Hijrah plan today. Coming in at number 5 is Iran. I know you're wondering, this is a Sunni channel, right? Yes, but still, Iran is one of the most conservative countries in the world. But its relocation suitability for Sunni Muslims is very low. Iran has a very strong institutional conservatism. It is rooted in a 12er Shia theocratic political system. The legal and political framework is specifically Shia doctrine, and religious authority is embedded in governance. For relocating a Sunni family, this prevents a severe structural imbalance. While Sunnis are permitted to practice and have mosques in certain regions, they do not have equal political representation at the highest clerical levels. Public religious education and national messaging are completely Shia-oriented. Combine this theological friction with international sanctions, currency volatility, and diplomatic isolation, the relocation suitability for Iran is very, very low. Next up on the list, at number 4, is Saudi Arabia. The relocation suitability for Saudi Arabia is high and rapidly improving. Saudi Arabia is very unique. It is not just highly conservative, but it is the geographic and spiritual center of Islam. It holds Mecca and Medina, the 2 holiest sites in our Deen. Its legal system is rooted in Shariah, which is derived primarily from the Hanbali madhab. The religious curriculum, mosque culture, and scholarly environment are primarily Sunni. For many conservative families, the Prophet's Mosque and major Islamic scholars create a spiritual anchoring that not many countries can replicate. Furthermore, Saudi Arabia is rapidly improving its relocation suitability. Security is extremely strong, infrastructure is advanced, and they now offer premium residency programs. These programs allow longer-term independence from sponsorships. It represents the absolute best balance between conservatism and long-term viability. Number 3 on our list is Sudan. Unfortunately, the relocation suitability of Sudan right now is very low. Sudan's conservatism is deeply organic. It's overwhelmingly Muslim, primarily Sunni, and heavily influenced by the Maliki and Shafi'i madhabs. Islam is woven directly into daily social life. Public modesty norms are very strong, and alcohol has historically been banned. With decades of state-level Islamization and the influence of political Islam in the 90s, cemented its conservative laws. However, despite the strong Islamic identity, relocation suitability is currently very, very low. Sudan is struggling with ongoing political instability, armed conflict, economic collapse, and severe infrastructure breakdown. Conservatism cannot compensate for governance breakdown. Number 2 on the list is Afghanistan. Relocation suitability is low, but it could get higher in the future. Under the governance of the Islamic Emirate, Afghanistan is currently implementing some of the strictest public morality laws in the Muslim world. The state enforces a strict interpretation of Hanafi jurisprudence. There's sweeping gender segregation in public, which is not always bad, and conservatism is deeply tied to traditional tribal codes. But we have to be honest. High conservatism does not equal relocation suitability. Afghanistan suffers from severe economic contraction, banking isolation, and diplomatic sanctions. These structural problems, combined with international isolation, makes it unsuitable for long-term family relocation. However, those of us who are adventurous and maybe single, who are willing to integrate into the society, then there's nothing stopping you from that. And finally, number 1, Somalia. When we say Somalia, we don't want it to be confused with Somaliland. At the moment, Somalia has a very low relocation suitability, especially for those people who are not originally from Somalia. Somalia takes the number 1 spot for conservatism. It is almost entirely Sunni Shafi'i with virtually no non-Muslim minority presence. Islam is the central civilizational identity in Somalia. Conservatism is not just enforced by the central government. It is deeply integrated into the clan structure. Religious scholars mediate disputes. Sharia-based courts operate locally, and strict public modesty and traditional gender roles are organically enforced by community pressure. But despite this 100% Islamic environment, relocation suitability is very low due to weak centralized government, ongoing security risks, currency instability, and limited healthcare access. I'd like to mention here that these aren't all the conservative Muslim countries. There are many more, and one honorable mention is Mauritania. All Muslim countries have their levels of conservatism. As you can see from this list, making the right choice is not just from one single factor. If you pick a country purely based on an emotion or a single factor, you may be setting yourself up for failure. To help you avoid the common traps that destroy relocation dreams, we have put together a free resource called the Hijrah pitfalls. It breaks down the critical mistakes that people make when choosing a destination, managing finances, and navigating foreign legal systems. You can download it right now at the link in the descriptions, or you can go to makehijrah.com/pitfalls. If there's one lesson to take away from this video, it's this: conservatism doesn't equal relocation suitability. We would love to live in a place that's perfectly aligned with our values, but at the same time, it must have access to staying and be up to our living standards. Now, this reality changes if you are returning back to your country of origin. Usually, you already have roots and networks established. But for those of us who know nothing but a Western lifestyle and amenities, infrastructure, and healthcare, it might be best to find something that's comparable and doesn't compromise much on conservatism. You have to balance your Deen and your Dunya requirements for raising a healthy, stable family. To check out our big list ranking of Muslim countries, check out this video here. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.